Well, I got some good news. Okay. So, and I'm not sure who this guy is, Akash Gupta. I don't know who he is, but I know he's correct. There's more information, and I'll get to all of this. Yeah. I'll go and I'll read this in a second, but this guy right here, Gupta, he had a lot to say, and he's right on the money. We're about to see memory prices go back down, and it's all because. Well, let me read this, and it's crazy, but it makes sense. So OpenAI may have. I'm just going to read it verbatim. I'm just going to read what it says. OpenAI may have caused the worst consumer hardware crisis in a decade with purchase orders that were never real. That right there should tell you something. In October of 2025, Sam Altman flew to Seoul, I don't know, and signed simultaneous deals with Samsung and SK Hynix for 900,000 DRAM wafers per month. That's 40% of global supply. Neither company knew the other was signing a similar commitment at the same time. The price and terms would have looked very different if they had. Those quote unquote deals were letters of intent, not binding purchase orders. No RAM actually changed hands, but the market treated them as real. Contract DRAM prices jumped 171%. A 64 gigabyte DDR5 kit went from $190 to $700 in 3 months. DDR4 kits that should have been in oversupply doubled. Retailers stopped posting prices entirely. The Abilene Stargate expansion just got canceled. Stargate? What? Uh, just got canceled because OpenAI couldn't forecast its own demand. Oracle couldn't agree on financing. Oh my God. The partners are squabbling. Bloomberg reported that $500 billion project hadn't started and no funds were raised to meet the initial budget. Multiple data center build outs are delayed or shelved. Now DDR5 prices are finally dropping for the first time in months, and it has nothing to do with OpenAI walking away from anything. Google released something called TurboQuant on March 24th, a compression algorithm that cuts AI memory requirements by 6 times. SK Hynix and Samsung stocks dropped 6% and 5% overnight. Corsair kits fell from 60 what the hell what is this? What does this mean? It fell to $60 from 100? I guess that's what he means. It fell to 60 from $100 for their highs within days. One company locked up 40% of global memory with commitments it may never fulfill. A different company published a research paper. The research paper is doing more for RAM prices than the entire supply chain has done in 6 months. AI is going downhill, trust me. It is. It is. It's not the thing they hoped it would be. Of course not. Nobody's going to pay for this crap. You know, everyday users aren't going to pay for this crap. RAM prices are plummeting after OpenAI failed to fulfill its commitment to purchase 40% of world supply and terminated its $71 billion SK Hynix promise. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You know what I just realized? Remember when Micron was walking away from us, from all the consumers, and they were like, don't come crawling back. They're gonna be crawling back, motherfucker. Ooh, delicious irony. I think it's irony. I guess that qualifies as irony, but Jesus Christ. I'm actually happy. Like that's me being happy. Yeah, DDR 5 memory prices just took a noticeable dive for the first time in months, and Google's TurboQuant might be behind it. Yeah, because it doesn't need all that memory. And I hate when I click to read something and it doesn't load. Why are you not loading? I don't have the patience for this. Load, mother. Load! What is this crap? I guess we're going to be sitting here for a moment. While we wait, let me tell you about Jesus. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you about Jesus. There we go. It loaded. Finally. Doesn't look right at all. What the hell happened? There we go. That's proper. DDR5 memory prices just took a noticeable dive for the first time in months, and Google's TurboQuant might be behind it. DDR5 memory prices have been rising for several months, but our tracking shows a widespread drop this week. DDR5 memory prices have seen a significant drop, up to $100 per kit, but the discounts are limited to a few vendors. The memory industry is experiencing a roller coaster ride lately following the unveiling of Google's TurboQuant compression algorithm, which we'll discuss in a bit. One of the more intriguing, by the way, this is from WCCF Tech. I don't know. One of the more intriguing signs now, right now, is that DDR5 memory pricing is dropping significantly across multiple U.S. retailers. We have been constantly tracking DDR5 prices for a while now to provide our viewers with memory deals to help combat shortages. Interestingly, several retail listings today suggested noticeable price drops across memory products. Here is I'm not going to read that. Over at Amazon US, Corsair memory modules have seen a rather impressive price drop with the Vengeance DDR5 SKUs featuring 32 gigabyte capacity and speeds up to 6400 MHz, now retailing for around $379.99. Still a lot, but that's not like it was. A decent drop from their recent highs of around $490. The drop also extends to 16 gigabyte modules with DDR5 5200 SKU retailing for $219.99, which is yet again with a modest discount. Following its all-time high prices of around $260, it's important to note that these drops are more aggressive as prices were near the higher end just a week ago. These deals aren't just limited to Amazon. You can find them on Newegg as well with a similar price tag. It appears that the drop is more aggressive with Corsair memory products than with other vendors, considering that DDR5 memory kits with a 32 gigabyte configuration were retailing for more than 450 last week. The above pricing is a healthy drop and a trend that we would love to continue. As for the actual thesis behind the drop in prices, we have seen that the unveiling of Google's TurboQuant algorithm has driven a debate in the memory industry that has dropped off hundreds of billions from capitalization of the likes of Micron and other DRAM suppliers. Holy shit, yes. And I know there's going to be some naysayer, negative Nancy motherfucker. If you come into my chat being a negative Nancy naysayer, fuck you. I'm blocking you. I'm banning you. All right. I don't want to fucking hear it. All right. This is a high for me. I'm very happy to hear this. I don't need your negativity. You will be banned. I'm not kidding. Stay out. Just stay out. If you can't be positive with this, you can stay out. You stay out my chat. Stay out. Stay out my comments. I don't want you there. Stay out. We have already discussed TurboQuant in a previous post. It is a KV cache compression algorithm that, in summary, reduces memory requirements in AI workloads up to about 6 times. The paper released by Google suggests that there isn't a noticeable difference in long contrast workload once the compression layer is applied, implying that the world won't need memory as desperately as it does right now. But many experts have denied this claim. If you could reduce memory requirements in any way, that would open up further opportunities for manufacturers to ramp up production of their DRAM products, since we know the current supply chain is severely bottlenecked. As for the above reduction in memory prices, it could be triggered by an inventory sell off following TurboQuant's unveiling, given the that given the whatever the point, that's just an assumption for now. For now, gamers looking for memory for their builds could refer to the deals we just mentioned above. Here are some other DDR5 deals you could refer to, yada, yada, yada. I don't really care about the comments section, but okay. So even with what he said, going back to what Mr. Gupta said, he laid it all out. The whole thing with Altman was never solid, never written in stone. You know, it was never something that was going to stick. And I'm going to link to this if you want to just read it yourself. It's a lot there. But I'm also going to link to this right here. So, okay, I was actually waiting to talk about this. I was going to talk about it a lot sooner, but every time I'd go to look into it, I was like, wait, so they talked about this a couple of years ago with the whole TurboQuant and all that stuff. Maybe it's something to hold up on. I'm not really for sure. But now we're seeing more. I'm seeing something persist, and when I'm seeing it persist, that means it's time to talk about it. When there's just this persistence of information and people talking about it, yeah. But going back, yeah. So Sam Altman, he flew to Seoul and signed simultaneous deals for the wafers, yada yada yada. The pricing terms would have looked very different if they had. Those deals were letters of intent. That's all. They weren't binding purchases, but the industry treated it like it was binding and treated it like, oh yeah, that's happening. And they're not even sure where they're getting the money from. And then of course, like I said, like those data center build outs are delayed or shelved. AI is a failing thing. It is in fact a bubble. And it is a bubble that is going to burst, like it or not. Again, if somebody comes into my comment section wanting to argue this and whatnot, I'm banning you. I'm kicking you out. Goodbye. I'm not dealing with this. I like to talk about things that are making me personally happy. I'm on a high. I don't want to look at the comments section and see people acting like dicks. I don't want that. All right. This is good news. Shut up. No, no, shut up. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. I know it's not good. You shouldn't be telling your audience that kind of stuff. But I'm just like, I really don't want to hear it. And I've had people before come in when I made a video before giving me crap, but I'm happy to see this. Okay, so this could trickle down also to other hardware, like game consoles. We could see things, the squeeze finally release on game consoles and whatnot. Sam Altman is a scumbucket, and if I ever saw him in person, I would absolutely knock the crap from him. I would double up my fist and I would just punch him. He's got a very punchable face. If you've ever seen Sam Altman, he has a punchable face. Right up there with Elon Musk. They're both very punchable. Very, very punchable. They are the ugliest mofos I've ever seen. Elon Musk, both, all these billionaires and whatnot, don't they look like they're from another planet? A little bit. I mean, the biggest offender of this, I would say, is uh Mark Zuckerberg. That dude is very alien looking. He grew a bunch of facial hair, hoping it would make him look less like a fucking and he had to have gotten something to make his face just grow out a beard like that. Like there's something out there you can get to stimulate facial hair growth. He has the money to get it. And that's what he did. Because he was tired of people acting like he looked like an alien. You still look weird. You still look weird. That hasn't changed anything, Mark. Sorry, you still look bizarre as hell. You still look like you're from another planet. You just look more like an Ewok or a or I'm just saying. I'm happy for this. I'm tired of seeing everything go up just because one jackass flew to another country and just signed something, his name on something. They don't even know where they're getting the money from. AI is, I don't know. See, AI is a thing you can run on your own computer. That's the other thing. You don't need a data center for AI. Anybody can run something AI. So it's not the end of AI, but it's the end of this giant AI bubble that we're seeing. It's the end of all this craziness, I think. Or we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Or at least that's my hope. Only time will tell.